Greetings, everybody. Welcome here to Prog Monster. Help you I will, save you I might. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to complete lunacy. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, this is a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. We're here for the month of August to start the new series that we're going to be running for the entire month. 31 bands who had 4 album runs that are my favorites. So I was going to put these in a particular order, but I've decided I'm going to kind of do loosely. I'll try to get it relatively so that the last few that go are my favorites, but it's going to be a little bit loosey-goosey. But we're going to start with one that this run of albums would have been definitely right at the top at the beginning of my rock journey, and then maybe in 5-6 years into it, it probably still would have been in the top 5 or 6, but really has slid down quite a bit. I don't listen to any of these really anymore, except for maybe there's one in here that I still pull out once in a while and listen to. Pulled it out recently actually and listened to it too. So we're going to do a for day 31, my number 31. Actually, this will be the 1st of August. So August the 1st, the 31 band with the 4 album run that I like the most. And so I've decided to pick on Kiss. This is Kiss's turn. They probably should be a little bit higher, but I'm going to start with them anyways. I want to start out with a bang. So we're going to go with that. So the run starts here with this album, Hotter Than Hell. Nothing wrong with their debut album or Dress to Kill. They're both decent enough albums, but I think they really, for me, this was the kind of the album that of their studio albums that kind of brought me to their studio albums, so to speak. I mean, obviously, Alive and Alive 2 are 2 of my favorite albums, and this one is probably my favorite of their discography, where all 4 of them are in it, and it's got some. Yes, it's kind of junky in ways and like bad production and grindy and sounds almost amateurish at times, but there's a lot of really good tracks on here. Some of my favorite Kiss songs are on this album. And even though it's kind of 50 years past that time for me, I still kind of have a sentimental feeling for this particular album. So, of course, the next studio album up in the run is this one, Destroyer. I wasn't sure I wanted to include. I wasn't sure I was going to do this Kiss thing because this album has really faded quite a bit for me. It's no longer one of my favorite albums anymore. But it's still Kiss Destroyer. Fantastic cover, of course. Still has some awesome stuff on it. Flaming Youth, Sweet Pain, Do You Love Me? Yeah, these are all killer deep tracks that have survived my wear out phase. Some of the other stuff like Detroit Rock City, that's one tune, and Shout Out Loud. Those 2 tunes, I don't care if I ever hear them ever again, really. Even Beth I like a little bit more than either of them. I'm just tired of them. I don't want to hear them no more. But this was a killer album. The production on this is much better than it was on Hotter Than Hell. And at a time in my history, this was probably my favorite album. But like I said, time has not been kind to it, and I do not listen to it as much. I don't think it is as good an album as I originally thought it was either. So, anyways, other than the album cover, which I think is fantastic. So, that's the second album in the run. The third album in the run, I still actually killer. This is the one that I go back to the most now from Kiss. I love this cover. I just think this is kind of superhero-ish, which was the reason I loved it so much back then. Still do. I love the tracks on here. It's got a kind of a raw bite to it after Destroyer's kind of overproduction, lots of symphonic stuff going on too. This one is kind of a return to that heavy kind of Kiss that I loved in the first 3 albums, but sped up a bit and cleaner sound. Just sounds like, to me, this is their first rock and roll album with that clean but heavy sound to it. And so number 3, Rock and Roll Over. And the last one in the list, of course, is going to be Love Gun. This is another album that hasn't aged well with me. It's aged better than the Destroyer because I don't think it has that massive production. There are some really killer tracks on here. Love Gun, of course. I Stole Your Love is still one of my favorite tracks by Kiss to get all together. And you've got also Love. Oh, I already said Love Gun. I Stole Your Love. And sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so my vision isn't so good. Almost Human. This is a track that I've always liked. I still kind of like it. There was a period of time where Christine 16 and Shock Me were huge songs for me off of this album. Yeah, just a little bit overkill. I probably played them too much and just kind of burned them out a little bit. And that's probably with this album, it's probably more about burnout. Still excellent album cover as well. I actually like this album cover a lot. Unlike the Destroyer, they're both done by the same artist, but unlike Destroyer is absolutely a master at conveying a real destructive sound to their music, which I think is perfect. This one is more of to me, it's almost like a feeling of God, like they're gods here. You know, they got all these women worshiping them. They're on a pedestal. They're surrounded by fog and poles and stuff. Yeah, very godlike album cover. I do like it a lot. I still like it. I don't know how I cracked the back, but I must have done it when I was getting it off the shelf. But yeah, just absolutely great. And this album is the one that's produced by Eddie Kramer as well. I don't think the other one, this one's Bob Ezra, but that one's Eddie Kramer. I don't know about these other ones. I can't remember. It doesn't say any. It's not clear. I can't see it clearly about the other two. But this one's Bob Ezra for sure. This one, I know this is Eddie Kramer. And that in itself brings this album up a little bit higher than Destroyer. So, but are all good albums. Like if you're getting into Kiss, if you're one of those young people and you've heard about this group and you want to get into them, start with Hotter Than Hell, and then work your way through Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over, and get yourself to Love Gun. And that's as good as it gets with Kiss as far as their studio stuff goes. But really, when recommending Kiss, I suggest buy the Kiss Alive and then buy the Kiss Alive 2. You'll really like both those albums if you like a lot of energy and hard rock. So there you are. That's my first episode of the 31 bands who had 4 album runs that I loved. That's this month's that's this month's series. I hope you're going to enjoy it. I've been putting it together. It was a little bit tough. So the other thing I wanted to tell you about this is that we're going to do, of course, we're doing 31 bands and their 4 album runs, but a couple of these bands had 2 4-album runs. So you're going to have no more than 2 per band. Not that you could ever have a band that would have 3 album runs. I mean, I guess you could if you were one of those people that loved everything somebody did. I'm not one of those people, though, however. So I think I have 4 bands that have 2 album runs. One of them, one band, I could have had 2 album runs, but there's an album that falls almost dead center of a lengthy run that I don't really own and haven't really followed, so I can't really put it in there. So it kind of breaks it, so I can't do a 4 album run for it. But they did have 1 4 album run, which I think is fantastic, and people will enjoy it. So anyways, that's the beginning of the series, as concocted up as it is today. A little bit wild up. Hopefully it'll tame down a little bit over the next couple days, and we'll get serious, right? Get serious. To Obi-Wan you listen. Help you it will. Save you it might. Anyways, please put your likes and subscriptions for me. That would be much appreciated. And if you have any comments about this particular run or another run that you think I should maybe think about, and you put that down there as well. Most of you know what some of the runs are that's going to come. So if you're not sure about something and you want to make sure I don't forget it, you can put it in the comment section below. I'll try to get to it if it happens to be one I did forget. Anyways, hit the notification bell, and we will see you later. Take care. Have a good one.